Order in the court. Order in the court.
Okay.
So every monotheistic faith traces back to one man. But here's the question. Did God find him? Or did he create the idea of a God? But his name is Abram or Abraham. Christianity is the largest religion in the world, as you may know, with over 2 billion followers. Like wow. And I even used to be Christian. And this follows Judaism and Islam as major religions. The effects of religion go into people's way of life, people's perception, culture, and even in government structures. So let's talk about Abraham. Who's this man? Who's this man in more detail?
PSA, if you haven't liked, comment, or subscribed yet, you must do it now.
No. So the name Abraham directly translates into father of multitude or father of nations. And I just learned that he had 8 children. 8. Lord have mercy. And Abraham did not write any known books. He didn't have any book in the Bible, in the Quran, or Torah. His story and teachings were passed down orally before being written in religious texts by later authors. But he was born around 2000 BCE in modern day Iraq. I did not know that. Around this time, most of the world followed multiple gods at a time. It was really unknown to follow and worship one god at a time. There is an instance where Abraham receives a divine call from God to leave his homeland and journey to Canaan, a land promised to his descendants. And God made a covenant with him, promising to make his descendants as numerous as the stars and to bless all nations through him. Of course, Abraham's belief in one supreme God was very unheard of because everyone else had multiple gods. He was just breaking from the polytheistic nature and norm during this time. And I also made like a observation with polytheism and monotheism. There is always a God that is attributed with creation, with the universe. Everyone has their own meaning of who created the universe. So there's gods in many different ancient civilizations and many polytheistic religions and faiths and belief systems that have a creative God, multiple creative gods. There's always an attribute to who or what created this universe, this world, which I feel like it's just really a part of human nature to contemplate and to wonder about the mystery of our universe. To some people, they have their own truth with who created this universe, which is completely fine. It goes to say that there's many different religions, there's many different belief systems. We all have an emphasis on creation. Creation is beautiful. Creation is wow. It just goes beyond the human capacity to even comprehend, like so much detail. People attribute it to a god or gods. Some people like to argue like, oh, my God's better, or this is the one true God. People argue about that. Who was truly first? Which God was first? Who's first? It's likely that early humans worshipped forces of nature. Imagine being a caveman, a cave woman, and you see a literal tornado. Like imagine like the first person that experienced a tornado or someone that couldn't really control their circumstances. They saw these forces of power, these forces of possibly control that attributed to their survival, to their thriving as well. Like the sun comes up every morning. We revolve around the sun, and people didn't know that. People probably thought the sun just appeared just to say hey, probably. Hey y'all. Imagine the sun's like, hey y'all. And the early people were like, ooh, this powerful rays. With God, it really mirrors power, control, authority, ability. These things probably came up because of survival, trying to get a grip on reality in some way. But let's get back to Abraham and talk about the covenant that God made with Abraham. God called out to Abraham in the book of Genesis. God commanded Abraham to leave everything behind and follow him. A part of this covenant, circumcision, was introduced as a sign of this covenant. Guys, when I read this, I was like, imagine, I don't even want to imagine, but like, imagine how painful circumcision was before modern day technology that we have. And that was a part of a covenant that came from God. And a covenant is a agreement, basically like a contract. And there was also in the story where Abraham was tested by God, where he was to sacrifice his son Isaac, or Ishmael. And this was all to reinforce Abraham's faith. It got me thinking, like, this whole faith and belief system that is so popular in today's society, in today's world, taking up like most of people's belief system, it's literally all started by a divine call that Abraham experienced and witnessed from God, a supreme God. Isn't it crazy to think, what if he never received that call, or somebody else did and it didn't have like this effect like it is today? This is why I'm like so fascinated with history. Like, imagine all these possibilities if it was a different person, or somebody didn't carry this message, or he didn't have enough faith, or he just stuck with polytheism, or didn't like the idea of God. These beliefs are passed on from generation to generation. And you know, Abraham, I told you earlier that he didn't write any of the books in the Bible or Torah or anything. These are passed down orally. And there's, you know, debates on mistranslations. And that's where it gets me like so like mistranslations. Like, wow. And the Bible being like the number one most sold book in the world in history, it's like this indoctrination or this belief system, it affects many and it changes their whole view, their whole worldview. I grew up in a Christian household and I am still expected to follow this path of faith that obviously does not resonate with me now. The only reason it resonated with me as a kid was because I grew up in the environment, the community, the church, where these belief systems are just shouted at you and expected for you to intake, to digest, to practice, to read religiously. It's just interesting, the cause and the effect. With these, let me sit straight. With these belief systems, traditions, practices, rituals passed down from generation to generation, I'm talking about any religion, any belief system, any cult, any practices, any, like all of it, it changes perception. It changes your brain's capacity and your mental capacity to understand reality and also yourself. In like the Christian faith, like you're considered born in sin, and it's like, damn. Like, damn, okay, I guess that's the truth, right? I'm now realizing that the concept of God, a word, God, G-O-D, the concept of God it's really early human attempts to understand and explain the natural world. And it first started as personifying the sun, the moon, the earth, Mother Earth, weather especially. And that led to the development of polytheistic belief systems across various cultures and civilizations. The idea of a single supreme deity obviously started with Abraham and the rise of monotheistic faith. Our belief system shapes how we exist, how we become, how we be, how we live, how we act. Like, that is your whole reality, your whole experience as a human here with what seems like no instruction manual to life. I find faith beautiful, 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 beautiful. In any situation, having faith that things will turn out greater, or having faith that when you die, you reach heaven. Like, that is beautiful. And the human experience in this world with so much detail, and later discovering we're in a huge, 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 huge universe. And who knows if there's multiple universes. The more that we explore and discover our world, and even explore and discover our inner world, so many possibilities and potentialities come into play. Going back to, early human attempts to understand reality, understand the power that is external from nature and weather and other forces. It's like that survival mode where you try to tap into, try to guess possibilities, potentialities. Am I going to survive this? Or am I going to live? What's going to happen? We get to now, in this modern society in 2025, wow, explore and discover possibilities and potentialities within ourselves. Imagine if, like, a prophet or Jesus or somebody that claimed to be indirect with power and miracles that are just in a snap. Jesus, he walked on water. He healed many people instantly. He rose from the dead. Like, imagine somebody like that defied all common sense of possibility. And that's like where power and magic come in. Like, how could somebody be able to instantly turn water to wine, or walk on water, or split an ocean in half like Moses did? Like, if somebody were to exercise that in our today's society, would you attribute it to one God, or would you attribute it to the human capacity? That is a powerful question, because sometimes I wonder, like, the question, is there a God? I feel like that's a limiting question in a way. Is there a God? Where did that question originate from? Because you saw something that was powerful, like the weather or nature or something beyond your control. But if you were to observe and experience a magic or power like Jesus had, you would go into what your own capacity, power, and magic is. I don't really have like one belief system. I align with spiritual ideals and values. I don't know who created this world. I don't know who created this universe. Like, you can have your own truth with that. I'm still trying to figure out what that truth is for myself, and that's okay. All of it's okay. Belief systems, they are programmed into our brain. It shapes our brain. It shapes our reality. It shapes all of it, everything. And your inner world is your outer world. It's totally okay to believe in your own belief system, because it's your game to play. It's your life to live. It's your experience. If somebody wants to believe in hatred, so be it. It is their responsibility to understand love, understand hate, understand all capacities that can affect their own experience and other people's experiences. My faith, my belief is on love. I feel like everything in this universe is based on love, created from love. If there is a creator, it was created from such passion, such love. Look at all the detail. Look at all the abundance. An ever-expanding universe. If somebody so smart was to create the universe, wow. Applaud! Applaud! And science is really getting into it. And we don't know all the facts. But if you want to grip reality by saying, ooh, one God, or ooh, multiple gods, or ooh, Big Bang, Like, it's all a part of the same thing. We're just living in creation. We're living in creation. We get to create. We get to create with our voice, with our hands, with love, all the above. Absolutely. Praise be to you. Praise be to you. Praise be to me. In the Bible, Jesus knew about and mentioned Abraham. Before Abraham was, I am. So Jesus was like, I have always existed through that statement. Some people believe that Jesus came to be like a ascended master. Every time I see the word belief, I think of be and live. Your belief is how you be and how you live. Absolutely. The things that you consume, the environment that you put yourself in, the information that you process and take in, it shapes your brain, it shapes your world, it shapes your inner world. Until you are able to wake up and be aware of the programming, it will persist until you are aware. We are conscious beings experiencing a human experience. There's so much power in awareness. The statement, I am, holds so much power. Powerful. Powerful. Like, literally. The statement, I am, that goes into consciousness. What you say after I am is identity, where you put your power to, where you put your energy to. Your consciousness, your awareness, your focus is powerful beyond imagination. And there's science to prove that our observation has the capacity to shift and change circumstances, like the double slit experiment and the placebo effect. Our observation, our awareness, our focus is powerful. Your creations are powerful because it is a emulation of you. If there is a objective reality where there is a structure, this world, no matter what structure that you see, you have your own filter, your own projection that comes from you, from within out. No matter the structure, everything is through your own projection. If you were to have anxiety about something, that comes from you. It doesn't come from the thing, it comes from you. The word worship directly translates into worthiness, acknowledgement of worth, worth-ship. So when people worship in church, they are acknowledging the worth of God. They are praising God for all the amazing, beautiful things that He has created and has done in their own lives. That is absolutely beautiful. That is loving. That is an energy of love. If you are going to worship a god, worship whatever, worship an idol, worship a celebrity, there's many different ways that we worship. And I feel like it is so important to worship yourself, worship your being. You deserve to be worshiped and praised. Amen. The word religion, to bond, to bind, obligation. Whenever I started to become aware of the religion I grew up in, it felt very restrictive, especially when it came to perspectives on other people's lifestyles.
It is a sin to be gay. It is a sin. It is a sin. Pray that sin away, wash your sin away, or you're going to hell.
Like, why? It didn't register to me. I was like, okay. Whenever you make that covenant, make that agreement to be like, okay, you're just programmed to be bonded to this belief system that is from a book. There's this book that holds knowledge and wisdom from God, even though there's so many different translations, so many people that wrote it. Like, it just didn't make sense. To me, in my opinion, it was restrictive. With any belief system, a church, a cult, places of worship, whatever, organizations, communities, it makes it easier to indoctrinate because people naturally need community, need connection, and need purpose sometimes. When people are trying to get purpose, to get a reason to live, people trying to get salvation, it makes it easy to indoctrinate, to have people into these belief systems. Whenever you grow up in religion, in a religious background, whatever religion, whatever belief system, you take it on. It's not really your choice. It is a product of your environment, the people that you surrounded yourself with, the family that you surround yourself with. So in that way, it's kind of not a choice because you're a product of that environment. When you're trying to fit in, trying to not be prosecuted, like you're just trying to fit in, like just trying to fit in. Why is a god or gods created? Gods, they can reflect human fears, desires, and ideals and values. I'll keep saying this. God, in my opinion, God is a reflection to humanity. God is a mirror to you, to me. Regardless if God is in your life, you have your own perception, perspective on it. Therefore, it is something that is a mirror to you. Everything in this world is a reflection. Every single thing, every object, money, lifestyles, dreams, as simple as a jar, a window, like everything is a mirror to you. In my own belief system of oneness, interconnection, unity and verse, like one song, everything is interconnected, intertwined with you, your perspective, your focus, your observation, your consciousness. Everything is connected to you. In the Bible, do to others what you would have them do to you. Belief systems, they mirror each other in a way. I keep seeing this. You know, you can choose whatever, but it's all going to resonate with love, harmony. We can coexist. We can coexist. Out of many structures, there's that one structure. I feel like the idea of God, the concept of God is human-made. Every single human is divine in their own right, in their own birthright. Every single human, 8 billion plus counting, dead, alive, whatever, divine. Divine. God and gods are created to explain the unknown, trying to get a grip on the unknown, but human capacity is unable to do it. But we try to do it. But this God is literally a reflection to you that power, control, authority lives within you. Despite whatever external circumstances are happening, this power, this authority, this control lives within you based on your observation, based on your focus. If you want to put it outside of yourself, totally fine. If you want to give it to a God, totally fine. It's a journey. It's a journey of discovery, exploration, morality, having ethics. It is instinctive. If you don't want something done to you, why would you do it to somebody else? Point blank, period. Even with like trying to have like a connection to something greater. That's why gods are created. I've had spiritual experiences. You've had spiritual experiences, and it doesn't look the same for everybody. Definitely not. We have dreams, we have synchronicities, we have coincidences, miracles, and we attribute it to something. Is this where God's created? Did God create or did human create? The human's capacity to understand reality is limited. We don't see the full spectrum. But I remember being in middle school where I started to really speculate on God. That's really where I left. I'm done. I do not believe. I left. Many years later, I was trying to figure out like what are my beliefs? What are my true values? What is my truth? Like what's the truth? But whenever I started to meditate, journal, explore my inner world, explore myself, discover, wounds and trauma and things in my own inner world, that's when things started to awaken for me. In my meditative states, I had crazy visions. Prior to that, I never meditated. I never had visions before, and I kind of didn't understand how visions happen, but It's kind of crazy to explain like those visions that I had. It just goes beyond any words that I could ever describe it as. Whenever I came to meditation and journaling is when I started to tap into my own capacity, my own power, my own empowerment. Truly, this experience is for self-discovery, for self-exploration. And going into meditation, it's opened like so many doors of possibility, of potentialities. That's why I'm not like really set on like one belief system. I feel like creation is infinite in a way. The universe is literally expanding a lot every second. Consciousness, which is a great mystery and is our capacity to have a life, to have an experience, to be human, is a mystery. It is probably infinite. We can't even understand what infinity is, but this life is so fascinating, so fascinating. These spiritual experiences are fascinating as well, regardless of what you believe in, what belief systems you have. I don't have control, but I have so much power in my awareness, in my consciousness. Whew, there's so many possibilities within you, within me. It's really a whole universe within yourself. Wow. I feel like, there's no limit. There's no limit. If there is a limit, you are it. You are it. Why are we having this experience? We get to create these truths with this human experience that we are having. It's just a mystery. There's a lot of mysteries, but if you want to assign your own truth to it, so be it. Going back to the question, did Abraham create God, or did God reveal himself to Abraham? Who is God? In your own perspective, there is a God. Whether you worship or believe in a single God or multiple gods or no God, there is a perspective deep within you that has created a image of God, a identity of God. We get to be grateful and appreciate that we are here right now having this experience in this beautiful world that we get to even make even more beautiful and more loving, of course. I really thank you guys for tuning into this video. If you guys want to hear me talk more about these deep subjects, go ahead, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications. I post every Friday. Yes, let's cheers to that. Cheers. Go ahead, like, comment your own insights and opinions. Share this with your friends, family, and lovers. I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.